Once upon a chilling Halloween night, in a town much like your own, there was a folk story passed down the generations. Older siblings loved to share the tale around Halloween to their younger brothers and sisters. Parents shared it as a warning. A warning about something we see and usually take for granted as strange, but not harmful. A warning about a lost, lone shoe. Sarah, a curious and brave young woman, had always been a skeptic when it came to superstitions. She scoffed at the idea of a single shoe holding any power, especially on Halloween night. Dressed as a witch, she roamed the streets, her broomstick in hand, a wicked cackle on her lips for fun, and a gleam of mischief in her eyes. The moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows and bathing the town in a pale, ghostly light. As Sarah walked along the cobblestone road, she spotted it. A lone shoe, abandoned, in the middle of the street. It was an old, tattered thing, a child's sneaker, illuminated by the dim glow of a nearby street lamp. Her skepticism led her to believe that it was merely a Halloween prank or a child's discarded shoe, something lost while running house to house for tricks and treats. The folks in town's warning about the shoe echoed in her mind, but she brushed them off as foolish tales meant to make her feel scared. She bent down to pick up the shoe, a smug grin on her face. Just as her fingers brushed the worn fabric, a frigid gust of wind rustled her witch's cloak. The street lamp flickered and dimmed, plunging her into darkness. Panic gripped her heart, and a shiver ran down her spine. The shoe felt ice cold in her hand, and she couldn't let go. It seemed to stick to her palm, as if it had become a part of her. Sarah's laughter turned to terrified screams as the world around her warped and twisted. She was pulled into a nightmarish vortex, the cold, dark abyss consuming her. Sarah found herself in a desolate, surreal world, where haunting specters roamed and eerie, ethereal music played. The shoe, now her only companion, had transformed into a sinister entity that seemed to have a malevolent will of its own. No matter how she tried, Sarah couldn't rid herself of the cursed shoe. It clung to her like a leech, dragging her deeper into the nightmarish realm. She wandered through the ghostly landscape, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Time became a blur as she was tormented by eerie visions and ghostly apparitions. The cursed shoe whispered dark secrets into her ears, planting seeds of madness in her mind. It seemed as though this forsaken realm was a prison for those who had dared to pick up the lost shoe on Halloween night. Her parents' warnings, the older brothers and sisters' warnings, had not been superstitions. They had been a desperate plea for caution. Sarah had learned the hard way that some folk tales held truths that should not be ignored.